Hello and welcome to another Stamp with Amy K Facebook Live. And today I am going to show you how I made a fun card with the Penguin Place stamp set and the coordinating Penguin Builder punch, which is, I don't know, they're both kind of fun. They're carryover items from the last holiday catalog, and they just carried forward, and they're still in the new catalog, or in the current catalog. So I thought I'd pull them out and play with them because it's been kind of a minute since I've done that. And I also thought it'd be fun to make a slimline card, and I'm realizing that it's like as tall as the screen is, so hopefully you're going to be able to see what I'm doing on here. I can try to raise up the phone a little bit, but it'll probably wiggle everything around, and anyway, so I think we'll just call it good, and hopefully y'all can see what I'm doing. So this is the card we're going to be making today, and like I said, it's one of the slimline cards, so it measures finished, it's about 3.5 wide by about 8.5 tall is what this one ends up being, and it fits perfectly inside the little slimline envelopes that Stampin' Up! Sells. And I know that the paper isn't exactly coordinating in there, but I thought it actually kind of looks like snowflakes to me. So I figured that I would give it a whirl and call it snowflakes, at least for today. And then next time I use it and it's not snowflakes, then it will not be snowflakes anymore. But I thought they worked pretty well together and thought they were kind of cute. So this is what we're making today. Let's start with the stamp set. This is it. It's the Penguin Place stamp set. And it's got lots of cute little images in it. Hey, Pam and Karen. I don't think I said hey to you guys yet. So thanks for hopping in. I appreciate you being here. It's a photopolymer stamp set, and Mary's here, Mary Kay as well. So glad you're joining today. And it's the photopolymer, so it's one of those that you can see through. It makes for easy stamping. And like I said, we're just going to make a couple little penguins. And believe it or not, I actually did some fussy cutting today. It almost killed me, but there's no punch for the little hat and scarves, and so I had to cut them out. And you'll get to see my awesome fussy cutting skills as I hack away at the at the card today. So hey, Debbie, thanks for joining. So it's a cute little stamp set. Again, it's got kind of across all seasons and for different reasons. There are some that are just friend sentiments in here. There's a birthday, there's a season's greetings. So you can kind of use it for a lot of different things. There are little reindeer antlers if you want to go with those. Or again, you can just do the little penguin. This little guy is designed to scoot down the kind of snow slope on his tummy. There's a balloon for the birthday. There's a little Christmas tree. So all sorts of fun things. So hey, Kate, thanks for hopping in from North Carolina. This is the punch, and I figured it's easier to see it. I mean, I could show you this side, but then you just get a big glare on it. So it's a little easier to see what it looks like on the back side of it. So we've got the little penguin body that punches out this penguin. And then there's a little thing that looks kind of like a dress. I don't know how else to describe it. But what it's designed for is if you wanted to create the little penguin just out of punches, you can do that. So you can punch this out of your either dark gray or black or whatever color you want your background of your penguin to be. And then this is like his or her little face or tummy. And then there's a little feet on here. So you can make the penguin completely out of punches, or you can do like I did, stamp it and punch it out. Either way works. So all right, so that is the punch, and we've got our stamp set here. One other thing that I did use on this card is these Stylish Shapes dies, and these are a favorite of mine right up there with these stitched rectangles. I use them on pretty much everything because they fit around a lot of sentiments, a lot of images, so it's a great, great die set. So hey, Lois, thanks for joining. Glad you're here today. Couple things before we get going, and there's some good things. So free shipping today, which is October 4th, Tuesday. Depending on when you're watching this video, you may have missed it, and hopefully you did not. So get out there, get your free shipping orders placed. Orders of $75 or greater with Stampin' Up! Today, you get free shipping. So yay for that. Let me know if you have questions. Again, head over to my blog, which is stampwithamyk.com. You'll find all the details. And there's a link that right there on the blog in lots of different places for you to go ahead and put your order in. So let me know if you have questions about that. I'm happy to help you out. And then I am offering for World Card Making Day, and I extended it out to, we'll call it World Card Making Week, double running shoe reward points. So hey, Ginny, I don't make slimline cards very often, and I really should because they're fun. and I actually, I made one today because I thought it was cute with the little penguins. So All right, so I've got a double Running Shoe reward point ordering bonus going on now through October 7th. So mine runs for the whole week. The free shipping is just for today. So it's kind of a little added bonus that if you order today and it's 75 or greater, you get both things. So my bonus is with any order of $50 or greater, you get double Running Shoe reward points. For my reward points, they're my customer rewards, thank yous, basically. For every order of $50 or greater, you typically earn 1 point. And then when you collect 8 points, you get a free $40 order of your choice from me. But again, for this week, I'm doing double points. So for every order of 50 or greater, you get 2 points. If your order is $100, you get 4 points. $150, you get 6 points. So on and so forth. Let me know if you have questions about that. Again, the details are posted on my blog, which is stampwithamyk.com. Hey, Corinne and Bree, thanks for joining. A couple other new things. Starting today, Stampin' Up! Has got a new birthday card organizer kit, and it looks really pretty. I ordered mine, and I may have accidentally overnighted my order today. Eek. And this kit is in it, so I can't wait to get it and get my hands on it. It's actually got a little organizer, kind of a binder organizer, I guess. I don't know. There's probably some official term for it. Planner, I guess is what they're calling it. It's got pockets inside, and it's got the months written down, so you can get your little, get your birthdays all written down in there and check them off as you go. Put your birthday cards in the little organizer. So it's an awesome kit. And it also has 12 birthday cards in it. So yay for that. It's birthday cards and the kit and the organizer in the kit. Everything you need to make it is all in one spot. You get everything, from adhesives to the card bases to everything. So the kit is $25. And again, it's available today in the kits collection from Stampin' Up! Oh, thanks, Mary Kay. I think it's pretty awesome, so I'm glad you like it too. All right. The last thing to let you know about, at least I think it's the last thing. Oh, no, there's one more thing. Second to last thing, Stampin' Up! Has a new bundle. If you were watching their World Card Making Day presentation over the weekend, you saw them show this off a little bit. It's a beautiful bundle called, well, actually, it's a whole collection of things called Fitting Florets, and it's really pretty. So you can order it as an entire collection beginning on November 1st for customers. Demonstrators can order it starting today. Hint, hint, if you are not a demonstrator, you can become one really easily and get a little bonus for that too. But it is a stamp set bundle. So we got our stamp set, and then there are beautiful oval dies and dies that coordinate with the stamped images. And then there's another stamp set in this whole collection that is specific for Christmas. So there's some good Christmas sentiments in here. There are some little gems. And then there's a beautiful, beautiful pack of Designer Series paper. And again, I may have ordered it and I may have accidentally overnighted it, so I may have it tomorrow. So anyhow, so this is coming for customers starting on November 1st. Demonstrators can order it starting today. So yay. Let me know if you have questions about that. And then the final thing is Stampin' Up! Is actually doing an awesome joining promotion. So speaking of being a demonstrator, kind of rolling this all into one here. If you really love that, the Fitting Florets, you can actually add those items to your starter kit. And Stampin' Up! Is offering a little bonus through the end of October on starter kits. If you join as a demonstrator, you get to pick $155 worth of Stampin' Up! Merchandise. Whatever it is that you choose, can be anything. And you pay $99 for the starter kit. It ships for free. You're going to get some business supplies, a free paper pumpkin kit. So yay for that. It's an awesome, awesome deal. And then once you join, you get at least a 20% discount on all of your orders. There's no pressure to sell to anybody. We're a really relaxed team. About 85% of the people that join with me just order from themselves. So, but if you want to run the business side of it, we can help you to do that too. So let me know if you have questions. Again, the details are on my blog, which is stampwithamyk.com. And you can find all the details out there. So, aw, thanks, Mary Kay. Gosh. So, hey, Debbie, I'm glad you're joining today from Michigan. And Penny's here as well. So, yay. All right, let's get going on the actual card after doing it. That's a lot of yakking to get to the card. All right. So I did the cutting ahead of time, just like I normally do. I've got Pool Party cardstock here, and this is cut to 3.5 by 8.5. And then I've got a piece of the Storybook Gnomes Designer Series paper. And if you haven't figured it out yet, I love this paper. And this is cut to about 3 3/8 by 8 1/8. And again, all the details of this are going to be posted out on my blog tomorrow. So don't worry about keeping track of the 1/8 and the 3/8 and the 5/8 and all that stuff. So All the details will be on the blog. I will link it up in the description of this video once the post goes live tomorrow morning around 8 o'clock Eastern time. All right, so I've got this. We're going to adhere the two pieces together, and hopefully I've got everything cut straight and the right sizes, which it looks like I do. And then for the slimline card, I have got, this is a pool party card base, and it is cut to 8.5 by 7.5 to start with, and then scored at 3 3/4. And that size card base will fit perfectly inside the slimline envelopes from Stampin' Up. If you want to make it smaller than that, you certainly can, but I just know that this is kind of the maximum size. It'll fit really easily into the envelope. So again, 8.5 by 7.5, scored at 3 3/4 inches. So it's a little bit of a weird measurement. So hey, Carol, thanks for joining today. So I'm going to take this with Stampin' Seal and adhere this layered panel to the front of the card. I'm getting low. Oh, whoa, almost had a massive disaster there. Phew. So that would have been a mess and hard to fix if I'd stuck that down completely sideways. All right, I'm just centering this on the card front and sticking it down here. And now we get to the fun part of doing the little penguin. Well, not quite. I guess we got to do our circles first. So I cut these from basic white cardstock with the second largest of the circle dies from the Stylish Shapes dies. So again, just ran it through the die cutting machine 3 times, got these cute little circles all cut out. Hey, Carol, thanks for joining today. And then I took the snowflake image from the Penguin Place stamp set and Pool Party ink, and I just sort of randomly stamped the little snowflakes around the background on each of the circles. And they don't have to be perfectly stamped or, you know, any special way. I just sort of stamped them around and tried to make it look like the snow was falling around the penguin and that they were sitting on snow. And I don't know if I successfully did that or not. That was what I was going for because, yeah, I don't know. The penguins are kind of floating in air, and I thought about stamping the little swoosh underneath them, and then I didn't do it. And anyway, so if you wanted to do that to make it look like they were sitting on the little snow swooshy thing, you can certainly do that. I just got lazy and decided just to do it this way because I thought it was cute. So, all right. So again, Pool Party ink and the little snowflakes from the Penguin Place stamp set. Just stamping them randomly around the circles, and I think we'll call that good. All right, next up are the little penguins. So let me scooch these out of the way here so that hopefully I don't stick my fingers on anything I shouldn't be. I've got the little penguin. So now I did do the one that has the little eyes on it, and he's sitting upright so that he works with the punch, or she works with the punch. I guess it's not only a he. So, and I've got basic gray ink. I don't know. I went back and forth on whether I should do this with the tuxedo black or basic gray, and I went with basic gray because basic gray is just a little bit of a softer. It's still dark enough to look like a penguin, but I thought it was a little softer of an image. And we're going to stamp all 3 of these on the same piece of paper and then hope that I don't mess up the punching on it. And if I do, I've got more white paper that I can grab. All right, so let's close that up and then grab the little beak image, and I should probably center that a little bit better so that hopefully I don't end up with it ink all over the edge of the block. And then the little penguin feet, again from the Penguin Place stamp set, and I've got pale papaya ink. And again, I could have gone with a darker pumpkin pie or mango melody, or there's lots of different oranges we've got that would have worked. Calypso coral. But again, I just wanted a little bit of a softer look for it, so that's why I went with pale papaya. So again, you can pick your favorite of the oranges. And then we're going to stamp the little feet on here as well. And it's not terribly hard. This is pretty easy stamping. So it is such a really cute stamp set, Carol, I agree. It's just, I don't know, I think you can use it for everything from birthday cards to baby cards to Christmas cards and whatever it is that you want. So it's a pretty awesome set. All right, let me close that ink pad up. So again, hopefully I don't stick my fingers in it. And the punch, let me grab that. Now, the builder punches sometimes can be a little tricky to work with. This one's pretty simple. It's not too terrible. So the only thing that I need to remember with this is that I want to punch this way across. If I start over here and punch this one out first, then I'm going to get this one half punched with this thing, and then I'm not going to be happy. So that is the only thing to remember with this punch, is just before you stamp, just take a peek at how the punch is lined up. That's the biggest tip that I have when you're using these builder punches, is make sure that you've got it, you're stamping it in the right spot on the paper. So if you had a bigger piece of paper, you wouldn't want to stamp your penguins down here, because then you wouldn't be able to reach them with your punch. So because I have a little smaller piece of paper, and I kind of had played with the punch enough to know how to do this, you know, I don't really have to think too hard about it. But if it's your first time using a builder punch, just take a peek at it and make sure that you are stamping your images in a spot where you can get to them with your punch. And you will note that little pieces of paper are flying everywhere, and that's just fine. That's what happens with the punches, especially the builder ones. The only thing that I'm worried about lining up, I'm even stuck on my sleeve. Only thing I worried about lining up was the actual little penguins themselves. Let me set that out of the way and hope I don't knock it on the floor with a big clang. All right, so we've got our little penguins. Next up, you will be happy to know that I did a couple of these ahead of time, so you did not have to sit and watch me torturously chop all of this out. But I figured I would do one on camera and hope that you would be patient with me as I'm doing my fussy cutting, or as Rosie calls it from our group, fussy cussing, because that's usually what I'm doing when I am doing this type of cutting. All right, so I have got Pool Party ink for this one. This one was stamped in Granny Apple Green, and the red one was stamped in Real Red ink. The only little tip that I have is, if you're going to put the hat on the penguin like I did, is don't stamp it down really close to the edge of the paper, and I'll show you why in just a second, and why they're cut kind of crazy looking. But your scarf you can stamp wherever, however you want to. All right. So again, that was Pool Party ink, Real Red, and Granny Apple Green. Let me get these out of the way and get the ink pad. Well, there you have it. The scissors is already on the floor. I just don't love fussy cutting, and apparently the scissors is already trying to get away from me. Okay, a couple tips that I know from other people who do love fussy cutting is to make sure that you've got your paper kind of into the center. Don't try to cut it with just the tip of it, unless it's obviously a little tiny piece like that where you're going to cut it. If you're doing major cutting, you want to use closer into the center of the scissors. And this is relatively easy, she says, as her hands are shaking, and she's trying not to hack anything, including her fingers. All right, so I've got it cut fairly straight across the top. The other nice thing with this is that because I'm putting it onto a white piece, and it's got a white edge on it, I don't have to be super close and super careful with the way that I cut it. It can have a little extra around the edges, and it isn't too noticeable. All right, there we go. Trimmed out that little section, and then straight across the bottom. Looks like I need to do a little better job trimming up in here. So let me snip this out. See? I don't know, I'm telling you, fussy cutting is just not my thing. Even people claim that it's so easy. Yeah, and it is, but I don't like doing it. If I had a punch or a die, I'd be all over this. I'd be making penguin scarves right and left. All right, almost done, I swear. All right, let me get this cut out in here. So has everybody got their orders put in already? Got your free shipping orders put in? If not, go get them done so that you get it in. All right, so you will notice on the hat, I left a little bit of white paper down here, and I'm going to do the very same thing when I cut this one out. So it doesn't matter what shape it is. You don't want it to be real wide. That's the only thing, because we're going to put it behind the penguin head. But you'll want a little extra around the bottom of the hat to make it easy to adhere it to the back of the little penguin's head. The first time I did this, believe it or not, I cut out all 3 hats and got them all done perfectly, and then went to adhere it together, and I'm like, well, that was not the best decision ever. I should have left a little bit more at the bottom, because it makes it a lot easier to stick on. All right, whew, done. Okay. No, don't lose any of the pieces. Okay, let's grab a little bit of liquid glue, and I've got my tweezers here, because liquid glue I sometimes get everywhere. Not sometimes, usually always get everywhere when I use it. So I'm just trying to keep it to a minimum here on the back of the scarf. And I'm going to grab it with my little tweezers here, flip it over, and put the scarf around the neck of my little penguin. And again, the liquid glue gives me a second to sort of wiggle it around if I get it in a weird spot. And then the hat, this is the reason I left that little tab on there, is because then I can just take my Globba glue, stick it on the back of, or on the front of the hat where I've left the little extra paper, and then stick it here behind the little penguin's head. And that gives me plenty of space to glue the two pieces together so that I don't have to sit. Like I said, when I originally had done it, I'd cut it up, trimmed it up really close here. And then all of a sudden I went to glue them together and went, I don't know how I'm going to glue these together. So I just discovered that if you leave a little extra tab down there, it does make it a lot easier for the gluing part. All right, same thing with this one. Again, I'm just going to put the little red scarf on this little penguin. And then little red hat. Again, just putting a little glob of glue on there. And I sort of put these side by side as I was adhering them together so that I could hopefully get the hats. They're not going to be perfectly lined up, but generally in the same spot on all of the penguins. Like I said, you're never going to get them perfectly lined up, well, unless you're a lot better gluer than I am, but I'm not. So, Debbie, you definitely do need to get on getting your order placed, but thankfully you have till the end of the day, Mountain Time today, so 11:59 p.m. Mountain Time tonight, which is a few hours away, but go get your order put in. Don't forget, because you'll be sad. And then I'll be sad because you're sad. So, all right. So let's stick on the last one. Again, Granny Apple Green for this little green scarf. And I can see already that I got a little overzealous with the glue here, so let me grab that. Whoop, whoop. There we go. Whew, okay. Can you tell I've made a mess of the glue before? So yeah, little tips, little tricks that I've learned along the way. If you take a little scrap piece of paper, you can kind of scrape some of the mess of the glue away. If you do what I did and put too much on there. All right, let me get the little hat put in the spot over here. Put it on the back of the little penguin's head. And hopefully get them so that they're reasonably the same. And then we'll get that out of the way. All right. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to give these just another second to dry. So I'm going to adhere the circles onto the card front with some Stampin' Dimensionals. And I do cut my Stampin' Dimensionals in half. I just take them, this is would have been a whole sheet of them, and I just go chop, chop right down the center of the lines. So again, I know some people love the half dimensionals like I do. Some people really do not love them. So it's up to you. If you like them, use them this way. If you do not love them this way, you're welcome to use them as whole dimensionals. So that's the bonus of Stampin', is you can do whatever you want. So you don't even have to do this card like I did it. But hopefully you like the design enough that you'll give it a try, because the penguins, I think, are just too cute. So, all right, main thing on this one is getting it up close to the top and trying to get it fairly even side to side as I'm putting it down here. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the bottom. Usually when I'm lining up sets of 3, I will do the top and the bottom first, and then put the team half dimensional. See, that's a thing. It took me a long time to talk some of you into doing that. Mary, although she's probably not on today. So, all right, so when I'm lining up sets of 3, I usually will do the top and the bottom first, and then I can kind of center the middle one from there. So top and bottom are on. Let me grab the middle one here, get the dimensionals on the back of that. All right. And pick the backing off, hopefully. Okay. And again, just taking this one, and then we're just going to go right in the middle of the 2. Actually, I'm going to try to scooch it up just a hair because I am going to put the sentiment down here. But that helps me to kind of line up and make sure that things are reasonably centered, reasonably, equal distance apart. That's kind of what I want it to be. All right, grabbing a couple more Stampin' Dimensionals here that we're going to stick on the back of our little penguins. And grab another set here. And hopefully y'all are having a good Tuesday, which, gosh, I can't even believe we're already into October. I don't know what happened to the month of September, but it's gone. So, all right, little red penguin in the middle, little blue penguin down on the bottom. You do the same thing? Okay, so that's, I'm glad that it's not just me that does it. My upline from a long, long time ago when I first joined, Sandy McIver was my upline. She was the one who taught me that trick. And I'm like, that is brilliant. You know, why did I not do that before? But anyway, so it's like I said, some people love it, some people do not. So, all right, so we got our 3 little penguins all stuck on the card front. Next up, we're going to do a little heat embossing, so it's going to get loud in here for a second. I've got the Be Cool, Be Chill, Be Merry sentiment stuck on a block here, and again, that's from that same Penguin Place stamp set. Going to ink in Versamark ink, and this is real red cardstock, and just going to stamp it here kind of somewhat centered. It doesn't even need to be very good because I'm going to cut it out with a die, so nobody's going to know if I stamped it all sorts of crazy. Let me get my white embossing powder, and this is from the Basics embossing powders. They come as sets of 3, so this one has got white, clear, and black in it, and obviously, like I said, this is the white one. So, all right, got that done. Let me get this closed up and out of the way so that hopefully I don't end up flinging embossing powder everywhere. And then I'm going to grab the heat tool. So, Stampin' Up! Heat tool has 2 settings on it. There's a level 1 setting for drying. So if you're watercoloring or doing something just with ink that takes a little longer to dry and you want to hurry it up, you can set it on the level 1 setting. The level 2 setting is for heat embossing, so it definitely gets hotter. I'm just pointing it away from myself as I talk and let it heat up here a little bit. The heat tool does take a minute to warm up, too warm enough to actually heat emboss. So that's why I'm kind of yucking. So, I'm glad you all are liking my card. Like I said, I found the layout actually in a sketch challenge, and they had coffee or something on it. And I'm like, coffee? No, penguins, definitely better. So, all right. Let me turn this here and see if we can get the heat going get the embossing going. There we go, it's starting. So you know as you're embossing that you want to just heat it until it's shiny and smooth. You don't want to overheat your embossing powder because you can actually burn it. Again, ask me how I know because I've done it. All right, there we go. And I did not get a really awesome image on here, so probably when we get done here, I will probably restamp the sentiment. But for time's sake, because I know y'all don't want to sit here and watch me forever, I'm not going to make you watch the heat embossing a second time. So, all right, so I've got my Stylish Shapes dies, and this is the longer, narrow banner, and it fits around the sentiment almost perfectly. So I'm going to take this off screen for 1 second, and I will do some die cutting. And let me see. Maybe I can get it to work. There we go. Of course, it's scooting around a little bit, so I'm just wrestling with it and making it go where I want it to go. All right. So there we go. Let me take a couple Stampin' Dimensionals, which now everything is stuck to me. So Stampin' Dimensionals. And I'm just going to take one and put it out on the very edges of the sentiment, because in the middle we've already got it's going to be overlapping, so you don't necessarily need to hold it up in the middle with anything. If you wanted to tuck a little dimensional in there, you probably could, but I figured that it was going to hold it well enough this way. Main thing I want to do is try to get it centered and fairly straight. And I say fairly. All right, there we go. Last thing that I put on the card front was a couple of the adhesive back sequins and gems. I think these are technically Calypso Coral, maybe? Not Calypso Coral, listen to me. Coastal Cabana. No, I'm saying Calypso Coral. I think these are Coastal Cabana. But I thought they kind of coordinated color-wise. Just they're in that shades of blue family here. If I can get there we go. And just going to stick these right around the sentiment. And one more. All right, get those out of the way. And then on the inside of the card, it's super simple. This is a piece of basic white cardstock that's cut to 3.5 by 8.25. Yep, 3.5 by 8.25. And I had to think in my head, trying to do math on the fly, which is really never a good thing. So, all right, and then I've got the little Season's Greetings stamp set, and we are going to stamp that in real red ink. And again, it doesn't matter so much where you put it on here. If you wanted to write a lot of a sentence or a lot of a note underneath it, you can scoot it up a little bit. You can put it more in the center, whatever you want to do with it. And then I've got another little piece of the Storybook Gnomes Designer Series paper. And this should be cut to fit right on the bottom. It's about 1 1/4 inches tall by 3.5. So it should fit. My goodness. Apparently I used a lot of dimensionals on this because I have dimensional backing stuck to everything. So, all right, let's get this lined up and get the inside of the card done, maybe. There we go. All right. And then we're just going to take a little of the Stampin' Seal and put it on the inside of the card. And I'm running out of Stampin' Seal on this one. Hopefully we'll be, whew, just got it done. Almost ran out. So put this on the inside of the card. And again, just centering it with the edges. All right. Going to fold this in half here, grab the bone folder, do a quick crease along the edge, and that's going to be it for the card. So there you go. All right, super easy. I think kind of cute little card made with the penguins. So this is the one I made ahead of time. This is the one I made here where I need to fix my little sentiment. But that's it. Slimline cards are so easy to do. So definitely think of giving it a try. Get some of the envelopes. Perfect for the holidays. Again, if you wanted to put ornaments or trees or whatever, you could come up with all sorts of designs to put in little groups of 3 on your card front, and you're set to go for the holidays. So thanks for joining. I will plan to be live on my YouTube channel around 2 o'clock Eastern Time on Friday, and then I'll be back here live around 2 o'clock Eastern Time next week, Tuesday, live back on Facebook. Again, all the details for this card are going to be posted tomorrow on my blog, and I will share a link in the description of the video as soon as the blog post goes live. Let me know if you have any questions. I appreciate you being here. Thanks so much for joining today, and have a wonderful rest of your Tuesday. We'll chat with you all soon.